Thanks for joining us for another Rider Nation Station presentation, brought to you through the generosity of the following fine sponsors.
Albert Sporting Goods, American Legion Post 323, Auglaze Equipment Rental, Capabilities, David Wabacher Attorney, Eagles 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pizzeria, Jackalope Stash, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, Laura Yelton State Farm, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Plus One Professional Real Estate, Rider Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes. Treasures, gems. You can find them all over our beautiful downtown and surrounding area. Sometimes we forget to really look to find them. Today, I'm at the St. Mary's Arts Center, and we have some amazing treasures in the form of art, portraits that we're going to talk about today. The project is brought to us by independent artist Suzanne Gallagher, and the exhibit is known as Smile Lines Project. Suzanne, thanks so much for being here, not only for this podcast, but for bringing your exhibit to downtown St. Mary's.
It is an absolute honor, and I just want to thank Wes Portland for doing that, because he saw my project at another spot, and he talked me into coming to St. Mary's and checking out the place.
Excellent. Wes, job well done bringing this beautiful exhibit to downtown St. Mary's. I'm going to tell you first and foremost, almost like Uncle Sam would, I want you to come to this exhibit. And you have until...
next Wednesday, I'm taking it down right before Thanksgiving.
Right before Thanksgiving. So I want you to come to this exhibit at the St. Mary's Arts Center, right downtown St. Mary's, because it is absolutely amazing. The art in of itself is beautiful and tells a story. But Suzanne, it's more than just you painting. There's a story to be told from the stories that were conveyed to you of your subject matter. So let's talk about their mentoring statements and how this project evolved.
Doug, I was angry when I found out the numbers of suicides of our armed forces, all branches, in a current voluntary armed forces. We have every flavor, every strata of our society in the armed forces. And when I found out the high rate of suicide, I was so angry. I was like, this is a societal issue. And my dad had a phrase for something so big, a problem so big, you throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at it. Well, this is my kitchen sink.
And what an amazing kitchen sink. Unfortunate that we have to have this kitchen sink. And you're doing your part for society to bring this to everybody's attention and the issues that veterans face daily.
Absolutely. I have such a wide array of individuals that have served or are currently serving. Their stories are so diverse, and their answers, their skill sets that as I'm painting them, I'm interviewing them on their skill set, on what makes them fierce. And the stories are just, they're just magnificent.
And your subject matter, they are anonymous.
Correct.
So that they can freely speak and not try to tell a story that maybe somebody personally comes back for more information or a challenge. So tell me about the anonymity of this project and how it helped.
Very good question. So I really originally wanted World War II vets, and I interviewed 4 My whole idea was the deep hills and valleys of their smile lines were proof that they got through good and bad times, but literally on their face. The smile is one of the most humanistic things we share.
Yep.
And I approached them and I said, could you be in my project? And they said, this is a great project. I'm not worthy. And I made 2 decisions that day. Anyone could be in it, any age, and anonymous. So no one's service is compared to anyone else's.
Yes.
It is not, it's casual dressed portraits. It's comfortable, it's approachable. So what I love about the exhibition is it's a dark subject, suicide prevention. Good and kind people will find something else to do. But when you walk in, you see smiles, and it's so approachable. So you walk up, and even if you know nothing about what the project is about, you read a statement of resiliency next to their smile, and it can't help but be positive psychology and peer mentoring.
What a great project, what a great vision, what a great mission. And the goal is 52 portraits. And how far along are you, and why 52?
52 originally was going to be one person represented for all our 50 states, plus Puerto Rico and D.C., where a lot of veterans came from. I was very ambitious, and I thought that I could get this done a lot faster and travel it faster. But people kept coming to me, and they were all wanted to represent Ohio or Indiana or Pennsylvania. So I decided when I'm touring this, each state I will do another veteran. The 52 also is a deck of cards. The Armed Forces uses that often in their missions. And then there's 52 weeks in a year. So many losses from nihilistic choices, permanent decisions to sometimes temporary problems. I just thought 52 was a strong, big statement of an exhibition. And I thought I could get the diversity that way also. I do have a story about 52.
And I am ready to listen to it.
Okay, I'm showing at the Ohio State Fair.
Okay.
And it's near the end of the fair week. And I would paint next to the exhibition. I only had 40 at the time. 40 started, so there was a lot, only one sitting, some oil studies. And these 2 guys walk by, and I'm sitting painting on something, and I would engage people that walked by because I didn't want them just to think it was an art show. It's more of a social activism, kind of like I would like to help them engage. Well, these guys had these fine cowboy boots, fine looking outfits, and a nice Stetson, and I was like, hey, you guys have a horse I can paint? Because I love to paint horses.
Okay.
Now keep in mind, the one guy told me later he was super hungry, but he gave me attitude right away, and he thought that I wanted to paint on his horse. So he was like, no. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. He's like, I'm from Iowa. I don't know, he randomly said that.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's okay. I'm going to tour this across the country. I can go to Iowa to paint your horse. And again, he was like, what? No. And then I just said, well, this is my project trying to reduce the suicide rate of veterans. If you want to take a look at it, I would really appreciate it. And then he got even more indignant, and he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And what are you trying to do here? And I stood up, and I'm like, dude, what do I have to do to make you understand how important this is? And why don't you read?
Uh-huh.
Here's 40. I'm going to do 52. I don't know why I'm going to do 52, but here's 40. Why don't you just read some and take a look? And he stopped cold in his tracks. And he said, I'll tell you why you're going to do 52. Because my dad killed himself at 52. He was a veteran.
Oh, my.
My sister attempted suicide at 52. We all hold our breath. Anybody turns 52 in our family.
Wow.
And I
52 it is.
Took a moment and we hugged. I gave him a granola bar because he told me he was hungry.
Right.
Turned out to be these high-end judges of the like real expensive cows.
Yeah.
So
That is a fascinating story, and there's your intervention for solidifying why 52 was going to be your number.
it was indelible experience.
Yeah. So smile lines are lifelines.
Absolutely.
Smile lines are lifelines, and if you stop in downtown St. Mary's at the St. Mary's Arts Center, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is when this exhibit closes up. So make certain that you get here. You're going to see a lot of smile lines.
You can also make appointment with
By
by
appointment.
appointment if you want to call the gallery.
We'll
and
put that number up
that
right
would be
now.
perfect. Thank you.
And there's stories to be told. And I think so often we don't take the time to learn from others. And here is a very easy way, actually in solitude, to learn from others by just coming to the exhibit, looking at these amazing portraits that Suzanne has painted, a first painting all the way to
Yes.
5 campaigns to get it all the way finished. And it's neat to see the evolution of where she started to where she finished, and it is absolutely amazing. So Suzanne, we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to take a look at one or two of the actual paintings and the words that they conveyed to you. But before we do take that commercial break, before we started, we both were working on some of our artwork, so I would like to share that at this point in time. Suzanne, how's yours compared to mine?
Well, I'm painting you, and I think it's a good likeness. I think I caught your soul.
It's good that somebody finally found it. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Albert Sporting Goods, American Legion Post 323, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Capabilities, David Wabacher Attorney, Eagles 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pizzeria, Jackalope Stash, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, Laura Yelton State Farm, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Plus One Professional Real Estate, Ryder Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Okay, so we have two individuals in front of you. One is a little bit more finished of a painting because it's more sittings. Trevor is just one sitting. I will finish it. The final piece that's actually in my studio. It will be, presented probably in the next show.
I'm going to interrupt and ask a question because I
Go right
totally
ahead.
have no idea. How long does it take to do your first? I'm going to call them campaigns because I don't know what to call them.
Sitting. It's a
Sitting.
Sitting. Uh-huh.
How long does that take to do a first sitting there?
This was about 3 hours.
Wow.
And I got the statement and I got a smile. So I was drawing him while I did the statement, and I just read back his words. So I made sure it was in his cadence and his phrasing. Same with Michael. There are two individuals in the project that they just emailed me their statement, and I didn't touch it.
Uh-huh.
But I did edit most of the words just so it has like a continuity.
And we talked about this mentoring statement. And here, Trevor, again, anonymous name here, he talks about continuing forward.
Yes.
And he gives a lot of credit to his teachers.
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about his mission of you got to keep going and And you got to give credit to people who helped
Right.
develop you with your foundation and the building blocks thereafter.
Yes, Trevor has been an incredible supporter of my project. I met him in my gallery. Both Michael and he came in to a gallery I had downtown Columbus,
Okay.
where I started the project. A lot of people would come into my gallery and ask for something to be donated for a cause. And I thought, well, if my work can bring money and attention to an issue, why don't I decide what I want to do? And why don't I go big? So,
Yeah.
instead of one, I'm going to do 52. Michael would always come in to my openings. He's a musician. I'd always have a puzzle for people that didn't want really, kind of were dragged to the art openings and they didn't really know. So I'd have a puzzle, and he would get everybody to work on the puzzle, and then I had a live band. So, yeah, he was one of my favorite regulars to my art openings. He would come in also and support my gallery. I would love to read this part of his statement. He did say he had great teachers. He had fantastic teachers. I love to learn and have blazed my own path. Willpower, however, is a combination of what you were born with and one's environment. One's will helps drives an outcome. I was kidnapped around 6 months old at a thrift store. My little grandmother ran the man down and got me back. We still don't know how. Her will was fierce. So it's not just teachers, it's family, it's this spirit of fighting and getting through and overcoming that he was shown that helped him.
No matter what, keep it going.
Yes.
Keep it going. And then when we get to Michael's story, it's pretty incredible. Surviving and adapting gave me more strength than any experience in my life. But the loneliness is the saddest part of homelessness. There is no one to talk to, no one to predict the day. I lost a lot of people being gone for so long.
Yes.
So they did take the dive with you and in their interviews as to
Yes.
who they truly
Absolutely.
were, are, want to be.
Correct. And Michael did find his community and his village when he came out of homelessness. And I am honored that I had the chance to meet him and have him in my project. And I love his opening statement is, I've always known there is something here I'm supposed to do. Everyone has their purpose. So he is helping people. He is continuing on being, an influencer and a symbol of perseverance.
And I love you can't succeed in your life alone.
No.
Even though we try.
Oh yeah. We're gregarious. We have to.
Yeah.
We have to find our village.
The Smile Lines Project. I barely know Michael. I feel that I know Michael. And look at that smile from the story that he's conveyed to us right there through the interviews with Suzanne Gallagher. As we head back to commercial, we're going to take a look at just a couple other pictures and hear and feel and learn the stories of those in Suzanne Gallagher's Smile Lines Project. We'll be back.
Albert Sporting Goods. American Legion Post 323, All Glaze Equipment Rental. Capabilities. David Wabacher Attorney. Eagles 767. FCA. Fowler's TV. Freedom Marketing Strategies. Grand Lake Roofing. Guarneri's Pizzeria. Jackalope Stash. Larry Schaff Auto Sales. Laura Yelton State Farm. MHS Alumni Foundation. Miller Funeral Homes. Minster Bank. Plus One Professional Real Estate. Ryder Rooters. Roots Pub. St. Mary's Foundry. Sean Barnett Electrical. Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center. Spring Street Storage. TSC. And Varsity Lanes.
If everyone could just loosen up, I mean the whole world. If I don't have to have it, you aren't allowed to have it. I shouldn't be alive. What I lived through. You feel bad for a little while, and then you move on to the next. Look for the next mission. Once you make peace with the decisions you made, you can go the other way, not back. You did the best you could with what you had while you were there. Any decision is always better than no decision. We are a global community. We should be one planet, not one country.
I must have confidence to continue. I am told I am a safe harbor. I do just jump in with communication, vulnerability, acceptance, and because of this, I have lifelong friends. I grew up on a farm in Texas. It made me resourceful, taught me that I can figure things out. I'm definitely stubborn, but I think I've always been resilient. I get up and I keep going. When you're going through hell, just keep going. I've never been hurt this bad. It happened in March. I cried for a couple months, worked on my house, saw a counselor for a while, got some self-help books. She said, take that shit back to the library. Sometimes you just gotta sit in your pain. I couldn't will myself out of this. Sheer force of will is stormy, situational, forceful. Now it's all about resilience. As in perseverance, it is some small element of waiting something out. Resilience is thoughtful, gradual, intelligent, more of a constant state of behavior, more of a constant state of behavior. I am now on a path of expanding. I am starting to enjoy my new freedom.
Death is an unreal state for the living. You get to a place where you must actually participate in saving yourself. You might need to change your diet, your habits. What is the answer to your misery? Find out what is bothering you. If you consent to discuss it, at some point the human brain will have to name it. Once it has a name, it is identifiable, made real. Then you can set up an offense. Then you can ask for help. Then you can battle it. I had a near-death experience. Got hit on my motorcycle. I see myself flying through the air. I was heading toward a bright light. I said, no, not yet. Something told me to turn my ass around and get to your body and deal with this nonsense. So I did. Self-doubts, negative and irrelevant thoughts can be debilitating, but our human bodies are built to take a respite. A sleep cycle heals, regenerates, reboots. Don't know why we have to sleep, but we can't avoid it. Things make me determined. The surgeon who operated on me after my motorcycle accident saved my arm. She fixed it beautifully, fixed it immaculately. She was 8 months pregnant, pure of spirit. She had the glow of life. Good is always happening. No matter what's going on in my head, the sunrise matters. If the sun comes up, get off your ass and get busy. Jesse. Well, we've come to the end of our show. It is our hope at Rider Nation Station this vodcast did entertain, educate, enlighten, and elevate your perspective about St. Mary's, Ohio. We hope a story has been told that augments the development of relationships, old and new, to promote growth for all who did, and will call St. Mary's, Ohio home. Again, I want to thank artist Suzanne Gallagher for enlightening us on her Smile Lines project at St. Mary's Arts Center, and beyond that, the great work that you're doing to bring this topic throughout the nation. Thank you so much, Suzanne. Look forward to more of our vodcast coming your way, along with our winter sports broadcast. I hope you think positively about our town. The town we did not inherit from our ancestors, but the town we borrowed from our grandchildren. Peace to you, my fellow St. Marians, always and always.
Thanks for watching another episode of Writer Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.